respected Dr. Bindeshwar Pathak, the dignitaries on the dais, and the delegates. Good afternoon to you all. At the outset, my submission is I've submitted my paper, the title Sanitation Prospects, Gender and Caste Reality in India. But I found my name in the panel, Sanitation Beyond Toilets. So what I have done is I culled out the part of my paper and presenting here according to the theme, Sanitation Beyond Toilets. Now, what is sanitation? All of us are very familiar with the term, the concept, the reality of sanitation here. More than a decade, we are thinking about it. It's generally understood as a hygienic means of promoting health through prevention of human contact with the hazards of waste, as well as the treatment and proper disposal. So human excreta is one of that. Based on the secondary sources, I present my reflection on the sanitation beyond toilets. Being the secondary sources, all of you are perhaps familiar with that. Friends, what is beyond sanitation? What is beyond toilet sanitation? So, this is my point of argument here. On the Sulabh platform, I see this issue in two different understandings. One is, Sulabh is committed to the core of sanitation, toilet sanitation, and it has achieved a great deal today, not only in constructing toilets, but also toilet-related infrastructure, and thus has transformed the whole societal structure. Now, what else? It is the expansion of activities, what Sulabh has already done. A big list of the activities: community toilet, excreta-based biogas systems, wastewater treatment, Sulabh International Center for Action Sociology, Sulabh International Institute of Technical Research and Training. So likewise, so many institutes are there. Now this is beyond what is toilet sanitation, and this is going beyond. This is one perspective. The second perspective, what I see, is a vision. A vision behind this sanitation, a vision behind the movement, sanitation movement. In the sanitation movement, toilet is the tool for societal and social structure transformation. The tool taken is the toilet. So therefore, what is the vision and what is the target? Now, the latter activities what Dr. Pathak has chosen and actively involved in this shows here the vision of it. That is, it is the humanity at large, irrespective of caste, creed, culture, polity, region, or nationality. Now, for my reflection, perhaps sociological bent, I've chosen three specific personalities who worked on the toilet sanitation or sanitation. There may be many more in the sense 10, 20 or more who worked for this particular cause in India. But my choice is only these three. Very eminent people, towering personalities, not because of caste status, not because of financial strength or political power, but because of the charisma, the charismatic power they have had in their work and the life they lived. What is common in these three persons? That is, no political power, not religious leaders. They were not elected as MPs, MLAs, MLCs. They were not ministers, not IAS or IPS officers, nothing. But with their charismatic power, shook the structure of the society, and there is visible societal transformation. And these are the three people whom I picked. One is Mahatma Gandhi, second is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and the third person is one among here, Dr. Bindeshwar Pathak. They have had a vision for what is beyond toilet sanitation, all three of them. Some reflections on the approaches of these three prominent personalities, Gandhiji, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and Dr. Bindeshwar Pathak, who engaged in the liberation of Dalits, manual scavengers, and sanitation issues. Ambedkar and Gandhiji on the subject presented different solutions to the sanitary issues. Gandhiji sought the integration of manual scavengers into the body of society in a more dignified and humanitarian way. Ambedkar, on the other hand, was more radical. In his Annihilation of Caste, he speaks of the strength of the system that has existed continuously for years. Now, what are the views of Gandhiji on sanitation? Gandhiji's starting point was his experience of discrimination in South Africa. He himself was thrown out of the train compartment. Gandhiji's attitude towards sanitation practices are shaped in that background in South Africa with his experiences. The Indian community in South Africa was the target of constant discriminatory attacks by the South African elites in power, who considered the area where Indians lived to be unhealthy and related to epidemic outbreaks. Gandhiji realized that these victims were employed by the authorities to do the dirtiest work, such as cleaning the sewers. Therefore, during his visits, Gandhiji tried to improve the sanitary conditions of the Indian community, stating that sanitation and hygiene are the part of our life being. He believed that better sanitary habits would end the racial discrimination, protect against the epidemics, and it would also avoid discrimination. After returning to India, he linked his understanding, the notion of sanitation, to self-control and Swaraj also, and urged the citizens to keep their villages clean. The manual scavengers played a crucial role in keeping cities, towns, and villages clean. Therefore, Gandhiji considered the duty of manual scavengers as sacred. He was not happy with the upper caste not doing their sanitation work, rather imposing it on the lower caste. Therefore, Gandhiji was influenced by two assumptions: that what he thought, untouchability should be resolved by appealing to the high caste and change of their hearts. And second assumption was sanitation workers needed to improve their sanitary methods of cleaning. Now, what are the views of Ambedkar? Ambedkar's starting point is his childhood experiences, numerous episodes of discrimination, and therefore he rejected the ideas proposed by Gandhiji. Ambedkar concentrated a large part of his efforts on the political representation of these groups, access to education, and access to water and sanitation practices. Ambedkar explained the practice of untouchability is based on the notion of impurity, pollution, and contamination. And he stressed that this impurity is attached to the society through hereditary, which is unlike in other non Hindu communities, which is temporary, time bound. Ambedkar was committed to seeing improvements in conditions for Dalits, including the social mobility of sanitation workers. Therefore, he focused on mechanization and industrialization, and he focused on improving the living conditions of all less favored castes. Therefore, Ambedkar and Gandhiji held parallel yet different views on sanitation. Gandhiji treated the moral element with interest, whereas Ambedkar devoted himself to restructuring the legal and political structures. So therefore, here the emphasis is on the moral aspect of the work put by Gandhiji, on the structural inequalities of Hindu society questioned by Ambedkar, and the agency structure relationship in the perspective of Bindeshwar Pathak. An analysis on these differing views shows there is a dialectics in sociological thought, the Hegelian thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. What Gandhiji proposed, Ambedkar disapproves. The target being the same, improving the life conditions of the manual scavengers and Dalits. Sanitation in the contemporary India is the synthesis of the earlier two in the efforts of Bindeshwar Pathak and his action sociology. Therefore, Gandhiji's thesis, Ambedkar's antithesis, and Pathak's synthesis. Now, the third, Bindeshwar Pathak. Pathak's starting point is his horrifying experience of purification rite for touching a lady from the lower caste, and his living experience in the colony of scavenging community. So when I look at him, it is a synthesis of what Gandhian philosophy and what radical thought what Ambedkar had, and is synthesizing it the both without rejecting anything. Pathak did not destroy any dry toilet. Neither he encouraged them. He transformed, reconstructed with modern technology. He incorporated the technology in sanitation efforts, designed something new, apt and suitable to any community. He innovated several technology-based activities supporting his mission, biogas units, water treatment, etc. There are many others. Though oppressive, he did not protest against the caste system. He befriended and sought the cooperation from upper caste, win over the hearts of upper caste as Gandhiji did. Caste as an institution has its roots and organization. Instead of uprooting, he looked for transforming and restructuring the system, and therefore he proposes the horizontal theory of caste, where No caste is superior or inferior. Ambedkar gave a call: educate, organize, agitate, and demand rights. Pathak did all this in action sociology, started school for this purpose, organized them for the cause under Sulabh, and the journey continues. No protest rallies, no agitations, but great achievements. Dr. Pathak went to fulfill the dreams of Gandhiji and Ambedkar through perseverance and hard work. He invented a sustainable technology known as two-pit four-flush toilet, which replaced the bucket toilets that had to be manually cleaned. The objective was to end this inhuman practice. Dr. Pathak's leadership used the toilet as an instrument of social change and social mobility. Pathak spread his wings beyond the toilets. We have very good examples. His works among destitute and the widows. Here, the focus is not mere welfare activities, rather to remove the difference between any general married lady and the widowed lady. The discrimination should go. So get away with the discrimination, that is his focus. The symbol for Gandhiji was charka, the spinning wheel, and symbolizing satyagraha, the power of self-reliance. Ambedkar, the symbol was the elephant because it represents strength, wisdom, and pride. And for Pathak, it is the toilet was the symbol that would liberate millions. He believed it a channel of social mobility. Thus, Dr. Pathak has fulfilled the dreams of Gandhiji and Ambedkar alike. Now, sociologically thinking again, considering the theoretical orientation of these people, Gandhiji's approach was rather that of structural functional, that it serves some good purpose, that the caste system or practice serving some good purpose. Whereas Ambedkar takes a subaltern and conflict perspective that sees the structure is oppressive and needs to be changed. And the action sociology of Bindeshwar Pathak, therefore, I see a nexus of structure and agency, structure and the individual. And that is the structuration. We, the agents, have to create the structure, and that is structuration. Bindeshwar Pathak in the 70s started with 500 rupees, I believe, the whole movement. And the target is the whole humanity, including all the lower sections, the Dalit community, the destitute, the widows. And Pathak, through his action, creates a new structure for us. And now, the sociology of sanitation in India is popularized and grown academically in the efforts of Bindeshwar Pathak and Sulabh. Lots of analysis and volumes of reading material is available on sociology of sanitation. According to Bindeshwar Pathak, sanitation should be included as a discipline in sociology. When we understand somebody starts one enterprise, they look for profit. And when there is profit, it expanded and spread across the countries. Whereas we see this Samstha, Sulabh, non-profitable, without any traffic, it is spreading academically. Today, we have the list of 25 universities having their independent departments and subjects. Without any profit, it is spreading because there is truth and there is ideology, there is commitment, and we are all the part of this. Dr. Bindeshwar Pathak, sanitation should be included as a discipline of sociology because the core problem areas embodying sanitation require sociological interventions. Sociology of sanitation is included in the curricula at different levels: secondary schooling, graduation, post graduation, and desiring PhD research also. Friends, all of us have responded to this call, and therefore it is taught at the graduation and post graduation levels. Therefore, what is beyond the toilet? Beyond toilet is humanity at any category. The humanity is the target beyond any category, caste, class, community, or region, anybody. But how to reach this? We have two options. One is bring that toilet to the classroom, that bring the all elements of the toilets to the classroom to discuss and debate with the students of all categories. That is one option for us. Second is deconstruct the taboos related to all occupations, especially this occupation. There are so many taboos are attached. We need to deconstruct them and present to the young minds. This is my presentation. Thank you.